How do you know when you've hit bottom in stress and anxiety? And this is such a question that comes up a lot. And I'm going to be totally honest and transparent because, that's who I am with you, is that I've had multiple situations where I've hit bottom, where I thought it was the worst, and then boom, you get hit with another time, and boom, you get hit with another time, and boom, you get hit with another time. And what's happening is it's opening you up. And when I look at this, it's truly a situation where you need to get cracked open. And for me, it's a lot of the chest. The chest is where a lot of the emotion, where that armor that I used to build, to hide around myself, to keep people away, that's for me where it was mainly focused. And I remember my turning point. And right now I'm actually writing my book. And the other day I just came back last night from a trip to California. And I'm on the plane, I'm writing it, I'm going through the beginning, and I'm recalling the situation where I hit that point where I changed my life, where I said, you know what, I cannot continue living with this anxiety and hiding it, because the hiding it was the worst part. I felt like a criminal that had been on the run for just years, and I was exhausted physically, mentally, emotionally. And what happened with me, I was just started up in a martial arts gym. It was a Krav Maga gym. And it was my third day of class. We're doing the drills, and we were in it's a tiny Yaletown loft here in Vancouver. And all of a sudden, it feels like the walls are just closing in on me. I'm like, oh no, shit, here we go again. The panic attacks are coming. And I start looking around, and I look for the escapes like usual, and I just bolt. And I run out in the hallway, and I just collapse face down in the hallway on the floor. I'm on the tiles on the floor, face down, sprawled out. And Danny, who was the head instructor at the time, he runs out and he's like, oh my God. He's like, Lucas, you okay? You okay? And I was just so conditioned to constantly try to keep people away. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm good. And he's like, Lucas, I felt his hand on my shoulder. He's like, Lucas, you're lying on the ground of the hallway in the middle of class. Don't tell me you're good. What's going on? And for me, that was just a situation where I knew that my time was up. I'm like, I can't keep running like this forever. Because at that time, I was 29 years old, and I'm thinking, if I'm going to live till I'm like 70 or 80 years old, I got a lot of years of hiding still, and I really didn't know if I could live that long doing so. I mean, it takes a massive toll from you. And at that point, I was thinking, is this the first person that I ever tell publicly that I have anxiety, that I have panic attacks? And I was just so completely overwhelmed that I knew that my time was up. I was just cracked open, and I couldn't hide it anymore. So I told him, Danny, I'm like lying down face first, like, Danny, sometimes I have panic attacks, but sometimes, that was actually a lot of times, but for him, he didn't need to know the context. So I told him, Danny, I have panic attacks a lot, and my mind just completely started racing. I mean, man, it was just firing up. Like, is he gonna kick me out? Is he gonna laugh? Is he gonna tell me to get lost? I just paid for 6 months of training. Is he going to tell me that, okay, this isn't going to work out, and I just lost $1,000? All these thoughts are racing through my mind, and the only thing he asked me was, what do you need to feel safe? What do you need to feel safe? It just, that alone, I'm just thinking, at no point in my life did I ever think that anybody would care about me. And, it's such a situation where I lived in so much isolation through 15 years of struggling with anxiety, that always thinking that this was my problem, that this is something that I had to deal with alone, that why would anybody care about me? This is not their problem. Why would they have to deal with my bullshit, right? With my issues? And to have someone who's a relative stranger ask me, what do I need to feel safe? I mean, that just completely shattered my entire preconceptions of what people would do and how they would react. And being the first person that I told publicly, I mean, it's just, I could never wish for anyone better than him to open up to, because it's just complete exception, complete support. And so I went back to class, and the only thing I needed, actually, what I said to him was, I need to know if a break's getting too or if a drill's getting too intense, can I stop it? Because we do intense drills, and that's when the panic and anxiety really kicked up. And he's like, yeah, of course. He's like, Lucas, if a drill gets too intense, raise your hand, put your arm up, and it's done. And just having that shred of control. Okay, people look at it and sometimes they think that you need the world. You don't. You just need a shred of control, because I knew at that point, having someone in my corner and having that shred of control, I will push myself as hard as I can to get past this anxiety, because I had a lot of anger and frustration around it. Like, I didn't want to live with anxiety, and knowing that I had a place that I could push myself every day and have the support, it meant the world to me. So I went back into class, started up again, and after class we had he's like, hey, can I talk to you in the office? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I go in there and he's like, Lucas, I don't know what anxiety is. I don't know what it feels like. I have no idea what a panic attack's like, but I want to help you get through this. So, let's work together. Could you help me help you? And I'm like, Danny, for sure, man. And I can't put into words. I was all emotional. Like, I can't tell you how much I appreciate the fact that you're doing this. And actually, that day I walked out of the gym and I was thinking, I was just completely, my emotions were just wrecked. I was just overloaded. And I was thinking, do I really want to come back? There was a part of me that thought, I don't care about the money. I don't know if I want to come back. Do I want to put myself through this? And the one thing that kept coming back to me was that if I don't do this right now, like, this is my opportunity that I've never had in my life. If I don't take this opportunity right now to make a change, it's not going to happen again. And I cannot continue living this way. So if you're sitting there living with anxiety, know that people care about you. It might not seem like it, and you might come across certain people around you, your friends or family, that they don't understand it. And if they don't understand it, they don't know how to help you. So they're going to reject it and push it away. Understand that it's not their fault. I mean, they just don't know what to do. And ultimately, it's completely restored my faith in humans in general, that people are generally willing to help out. And you are not alone. Okay, you are not alone, because there are so many people struggling with anxiety and panic attacks, and there's so many more that want to help you. So you're never alone, because the isolation is the absolute worst part. It's the worst part of it, thinking that you're alone, that you're messed up, that you're screwed up, that it's never going to get better. It can get better, and it all starts with you opening up and sharing it, because when you release it, then it's not a messed up situation, and you're knowing that you're putting yourself in the position where you can seek the help and get the assistance that you need to start changing your life. And so this whole process started with me and Danny in the gym, and I would go back there for the next year every day. I'd go into class and I'd push myself, and I would say, okay, how far could I go? And start taking those micro steps. Don't focus on saying like, oh, I'm not over it yet, because it's frustrating. Focus on, what can I do right now to make a change? Look at those micro steps, take those mini ones, and then look at it and celebrate them, okay? Let's say that for myself with the gym, it was anxiety walking into the gym. I was thinking, oh my God, it's gonna be a terrible class. I'm gonna have to go through all this. Then it was celebrating the fact that I could walk in, no problem now. And then when I'd be watching people warm up, then those anxious thoughts would be coming through. And then it would evolve where I would be fine there and there, but then during the class it'd be like that. Again, have patience with yourself and know that it's going to change. As long as you put the work in and you take it one step at a time, you celebrate your success and you focus on getting better, that is what's going to change. So if there's one thing you take away from this, if you like it, if you know someone that's struggling with anxiety or panic attacks, that they're feeling isolated, they're not sure where to turn, pass this video to them, like the video, subscribe to these videos, and share the link with them, because you will be doing them a huge favor. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, because this means so much to me.